People assume that sleep position is merely a matter of comfort or habit. But for anyone over 65, that's dangerously far from the truth. In this video, we're going to expose how the position you sleep in could be silently damaging your heart, brain, and spine, cutting precious years from your life while masquerading as normal aging. These aren't minor concerns like morning stiffness or temporary discomfort. These are serious, cumulative effects that many seniors don't discover until they're being rushed to the emergency room. What's truly shocking is that most doctors never think to ask about your sleep position during routine checkups, despite overwhelming evidence of its impact on longevity after 65. But the good news is that once you understand which positions are silently harming you, you can make immediate changes tonight that could quite literally save your life. So if you've been waking up with unexplained symptoms, feeling unrest despite adequate sleep hours, or wondering why your health seems to be declining faster than it should, stay with me until the end of this video. The solution could be simpler than you ever imagined. If you're finding this information valuable, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel. We share new, potentially life-changing content every day, and your support helps us reach more people who need these solutions. Now, let's begin with a story that might sound all too familiar. Colonel Thaddeus Winters sat alone in his pickup truck in the hospital parking lot, gripping the steering wheel with white-knuckled hands, eyes glistening with unshed tears. The twilight cast long shadows across his weathered face as the doctor's words echoed in his mind. "Colonel, this wasn't just bad luck. The way you've been sleeping for decades directly contributed to this cardiac event." At 72, the former military man had always prided himself on his iron constitution. Now, a piece of paper with discharge instructions lay crumpled in his lap, a humbling reminder that something as simple as his sleeping position had nearly killed him. The cardiologist's explanation had been brutally direct. "Your insistence on stomach sleeping, face down, arm tucked under, has been putting devastating strain on your heart and lungs night after night. At your age, it's like running a marathon in your sleep. Your heart simply couldn't take it anymore." You clicked on this video because you've seen the warning, "Never sleep like this after 65." Maybe you're wondering if your preferred sleep position is silently damaging your health. Or perhaps you've noticed you don't feel rested anymore, waking with unexplained pain, dizziness, or that foggy feeling that follows you through the day. If you're over 65 and still sleeping the way you did in your 40s, you need to watch this entire video, because your sleep position isn't just about comfort anymore. It's about survival. For those who've dismissed sleep position as just a matter of preference, this message is especially urgent. The position you settle into each night could be restricting blood flow to your brain, reducing oxygen levels by up to 30%, straining your heart, and accelerating cognitive decline. These aren't minor inconveniences, they're potentially shaving years off your life expectancy. Dolores Abernathy, a former concert pianist of 71, couldn't understand why she woke every morning feeling like she'd been drugged, despite never taking sleeping pills. "I'd shuffle through my days like a zombie, collapse for an afternoon nap, and still feel like I was swimming through molasses," she confessed. Her meticulous physician, Dr. Rafferty, checked everything: heart rhythms, medication interactions, thyroid panels, all returned stubbornly normal. It wasn't until her third sleep specialist asked specifically about her sleeping position that the shocking truth emerged. The comfortable position she'd favored since her touring days, the fetal curl with pillow clutched to chest, was actually causing dangerous oxygen desaturation throughout the night, essentially starving her brain and organs of essential oxygen for hours at a time. What's truly frightening is that most seniors have no idea they're putting themselves at risk every night. The damage accumulates silently, manifesting as what many mistake for normal aging, memory lapses, morning stiffness, increasing blood pressure, even changes in mood and cognitive function. And many doctors never think to ask about something as seemingly inconsequential as sleep position. Even more alarming is that certain positions become dramatically more dangerous after 65, even if they caused no problems in your younger years. Your body's compensatory mechanisms, the ways it adapts to stress and restricted breathing, weaken with age. The position that merely caused your partner to complain about snoring in your 50s could now be triggering micro-awakenings hundreds of times each night, preventing the deep sleep your brain desperately needs for repair and maintenance. And research has shown that chronic sleep disruption accelerates the very brain changes associated with dementia and cognitive decline. Let's address the most serious risk first. What happened to Colonel Winters was no coincidence. Certain sleep positions dramatically increase cardiac stress, particularly in those over 65. Dr. Yoshihiro Tanaka found that stomach sleeping increases the cardiac workload by up to 25% compared to other positions. For seniors with even minor, undiagnosed heart issues, this nightly stress can eventually trigger serious cardiac events. When Rutherford Duke Blackwell, 74, suffered a heart attack in his sleep, the sharp-eyed cardiologist asked an unexpected question. "Are you a stomach sleeper, Mr. Blackwell?" Duke was visibly stunned. How could this doctor possibly know his sleeping habits? The explanation was sobering. Prone, stomach, sleeping forces the heart to work harder against gravity, compresses the chest wall limiting full expansion, and can restrict blood flow to the heart itself. For someone with even mild coronary artery disease, which affects nearly 70% of adults over 70, this additional strain can be the tipping point that triggers a heart attack. What's more alarming is that the heart isn't the only organ at risk. When you sleep on your stomach, your neck must remain turned to one side for hours, compressing the carotid arteries that supply blood to your brain. Dr. Eleanor Reynolds of the National Sleep Research Council explains, after 65, these arteries have often developed some degree of plaque. Add the mechanical compression from a twisted neck position, and you've created the perfect conditions for reduced cerebral blood flow or even a nighttime stroke. Magnolia Vandermeer, a retired rare book curator of 73, experienced this frightening reality firsthand. After decades as a devoted stomach sleeper, she began experiencing skull-crushing morning headaches and alarming episodes of slurred speech that mysteriously resolved within an hour of waking. Her neurologist initially suspected transient ischemic attacks, mini-strokes, but extensive brain scans showed no evidence of permanent damage. It wasn't until an overnight sleep study revealed dangerous oxygen desaturation occurring only when she slept on her stomach that the connection became clear. The prolonged neck rotation was temporarily compressing her carotid artery, causing transient cerebral ischemia, literally starving portions of her brain of oxygen throughout the night. The research on back sleeping, supine position, reveals equally concerning risks for certain seniors. Dr. Sanjay Mehrotra's landmark study tracked 1,500 adults over 65 for 7 years and found that consistent back sleepers experienced a 37% higher rate of cognitive decline compared to side sleepers. The mechanism? Back sleeping often worsens sleep apnea, particularly in seniors with any degree of neck fullness or excess weight. Each apnea episode, where breathing stops briefly, creates a cascade of stress hormones and inflammatory markers that damage delicate brain tissue over time. Most disturbing is how these sleep position dangers compound with common medications that many seniors take nightly. Beta blockers for blood pressure can mask the warning signs of nighttime cardiac stress. Sleep aids reduce your body's natural arousal response to breathing difficulties. And certain pain medications can further relax throat tissues, making obstruction more likely in vulnerable positions. It's a perfect storm that occurs precisely when your conscious mind isn't available to protect you. And the worst part? The damage happens silently, night after night, until a catastrophic event like Colonel Winters finally reveals the devastating truth that's been hiding in plain sight. Or rather, hiding in your bedroom all along. But there's something even more troubling about poor sleep positioning that few doctors will tell you about. Beyond the dramatic cardiac and neurological emergencies lies a more insidious danger: the way certain sleep positions gradually, relentlessly degrade your spinal health after 65. This degradation doesn't happen overnight, but its cumulative effect can be devastating to your mobility, independence, and quality of life. Edith Blackstone, 67, noticed the first signs after her retirement: a stiffness in her neck that seemed to worsen with each passing month. "I chalked it up to aging," she recalls, absently rubbing the base of her skull where the pain radiated most mornings. "I'd worked as a seamstress for 40 years. Of course my neck would be stiff." But when her right hand began tingling, Then, growing weak enough to drop her morning coffee cup, she finally sought medical help. The diagnosis surprised everyone: cervical spinal stenosis, dramatically worsened by her habit of sleeping with too thick pillows that forced her neck into an unnatural forward position night after night. "Your spine is telling a story about how you sleep," explains Dr. Matthew Harrington, a specialist in geriatric orthopedics. After 65, the discs between vertebrae have already lost significant moisture and elasticity. When you add hours of poor positioning each night, you're essentially training your spine into a dysfunctional alignment. The consequences extend far beyond morning stiffness. Nerve compression from sleep-induced spinal misalignment can cause radiating pain, numbness, and even permanent loss of function if left uncorrected. What most seniors don't realize is that the most comfortable position isn't necessarily the safest. The human spine evolved for side sleeping, particularly the left side, which minimizes pressure on the delicate nerve roots that exit between vertebrae. Yet surveys show that nearly 40% of adults over 65 sleep in positions that actively compromise spinal alignment, either on their stomachs or with their heads propped at unnatural angles. Harrison Montgomery, a retired physics professor of 76, discovered this truth when chronic shoulder pain drove him to a specialist. "I'd always slept with my arm tucked under my pillow," he explains. "Turns out I was compressing my rotator cuff for 7 hours every night." The resulting inflammation had created a cascade of compensation patterns. His neck tilted to reduce shoulder pain, his upper back hunched to accommodate the neck, and his lower back strained to maintain balance while walking. This chain reaction of adaptations, all stemming from a seemingly innocent sleep position, had aged his body far beyond his chronological years. The digestive system presents another area where sleep position creates significant problems after 65. Beatrice Santos, 69, battled mysterious nighttime acid reflux for years despite taking medications and avoiding trigger foods. "I'd wake up choking on stomach acid at 2 a.m., terrified I was having a heart attack," she recalls with a shudder. The solution wasn't another medication. It was abandoning her preferred flat-on-back sleeping position, which allowed stomach acid to flow freely into her esophagus. By elevating her upper body and shifting to a modified left-side position, the reflux resolved completely within a week. For seniors with compromised circulation, which includes nearly everyone over 70 to some degree, certain sleep positions can drastically reduce blood flow to extremities. This reduced circulation accelerates tissue breakdown, delays healing, and increases vulnerability to dangerous pressure ulcers. Augustina Morales, a retired nurse of 71, developed troubling numbness in her legs after recovery from a minor surgery kept her bedbound for 2 weeks. "I always crossed my legs while sleeping, never gave it a thought," she explains. The doctor said that position, combined with age-related vascular changes, had created the perfect conditions for decreased circulation and nerve compression. Most concerning is how sleep position affects medication absorption and effectiveness in seniors. The body's processing of medications doesn't stop during sleep, but certain positions can dramatically alter how drugs are distributed, metabolized, and eliminated. This is particularly true for heart medications, blood thinners, and pain relievers, all commonly prescribed to older adults. The position that might have been harmless in your 50s could now be rendering your essential medications less effective or even potentially dangerous as they concentrate in certain body areas due to position-affected circulation patterns. If you're wondering why no one warned you about these risks before, you're not alone. The connection between sleep position and these moderate but significant health issues has only recently gained attention in geriatric medicine. But there's still one more layer to this problem that affects millions of seniors every night. Perhaps the most dangerous misconception about sleep positioning after 65 is believing that comfort equals safety. Wendell Parker, 74, slept soundly every night in his favorite position, flat on his back, arms crossed over his chest. "Best sleep of my life," he'd boast to his concerned wife, who noticed his increasingly labored breathing and morning confusion. It wasn't until a routine physical revealed dangerously low overnight oxygen levels that Wendell learned a devastating truth. The position that felt most comfortable was slowly suffocating him night after night. Comfort can be deceiving after 65, warns Dr. Sofia Vasquez, sleep medicine specialist. Your body's warning systems become less sensitive with age. The position that feels fine could actually be disrupting your breathing, compressing nerves, or restricting circulation, and you might never feel the warning signals that would have jolted you awake in your younger years. This diminished sensitivity creates a perfect storm. The positions most likely to cause harm often feel subjectively comfortable because they put less immediate pressure on aging joints. Yet these same positions, particularly back sleeping with no elevation and stomach sleeping, create the greatest risks for breathing disruption, spinal misalignment, and circulatory compromise. Another dangerous myth involves sleep products marketed specifically to seniors. Josephine Winters, 82, invested in an expensive adjustable bed after seeing commercials targeting older adults. They showed silver-haired couples sleeping peacefully, promised it would solve all my problems, she recalls with a bitter laugh. What they didn't mention is that the flat position button was the worst thing I could possibly use with my sleep apnea. Like many seniors, Josephine assumed that products marketed to her age group would automatically be safe for her specific health conditions, a potentially deadly misconception. The truth is that many popular sleep products, from pillows to mattresses to bed configurations, were designed for younger adults with different physiological needs. The memory foam pillow that cradles your neck might actually be restricting crucial blood flow to your brain. The ultra-soft mattress that feels like a cloud might be preventing proper spinal alignment. And the weighted blanket that helps you fall asleep faster might be restricting your chest movement during critical breathing moments. So how can you assess whether your current sleep position is putting you at risk? Start by honestly evaluating these warning signs. Do you wake with headaches that improve within an hour of getting up? This often indicates nighttime cerebral blood flow problems related to head and neck positioning. Is your morning stiffness significantly worse than your evening discomfort? This suggests your sleep position is compromising your musculoskeletal system. Do you notice indentations or prolonged redness on your skin after rising? These pressure patterns reveal where circulation has been restricted during sleep. Has your partner noticed changes in your breathing patterns, unusual pauses, gasping, or significantly louder snoring? These are red flags for position-related breathing disruption. Do you wake feeling groggy and unrefreshed, even after what seems like adequate sleep? This cognitive fogginess often indicates poor quality sleep due to suboptimal positioning. Bernard Holloway, 77, dismissed his morning coughing fits as just part of getting older, until his granddaughter, a nursing student, spent a weekend at his home. She noticed something I'd completely missed, Bernard admits. When I slept on my back, I'd wake up coughing and confused. When I accidentally fell asleep in my recliner slightly elevated, I woke clear-headed and didn't cough at all. This simple observation led to a sleep study that revealed severe positional sleep apnea, a condition that had gone undiagnosed for years because Bernard never connected his sleep position to his symptoms. Perhaps most insidious is how sleep position problems can masquerade as other conditions. Amelia Richardson, 68, was prescribed antidepressants for her persistent low mood and fatigue. I took them faithfully for months with minimal improvement, she recounts. It wasn't until a comprehensive sleep evaluation revealed that her preferred sleeping position was causing dozens of breathing disruptions hourly that the true source of her symptoms emerged. 2 weeks after changing her sleep position, Amelia's mood and energy improved dramatically, without medication. If any of these warning signs sound familiar, your sleep position may be silently compromising your health and longevity. But before you panic, know this. Of all the health factors affecting seniors, sleep position is among the most modifiable, if you know exactly what to do. And that's what we're going to cover next. When Agatha Thornfield, 73, learned that her preferred stomach sleeping position was likely contributing to her chronic neck pain and morning dizziness, she was initially overwhelmed. "I've slept this way for 7 decades, she protested to her doctor. "How am I supposed to change now?" 3 months later, Agatha sleeps comfortably in a modified side position that has eliminated her symptoms and improved her blood pressure readings. Her success story illustrates an encouraging truth. It's never too late to transform your sleep position, even after decades of harmful habits. Let's start with the most important principle. The ideal sleep position for adults over 65 is a modified side position, particularly the left side. This position maximizes breathing efficiency, optimizes circulation, minimizes pressure on internal organs, and maintains proper spinal alignment. But simply knowing this isn't enough. The implementation details make all the difference. First, pillow configuration is crucial. Dr. Lawrence Feldman, a specialist in geriatric rehabilitation, emphasizes, for side sleepers over 65, the pillow should fill the space between the ear and outer shoulder, keeping the neck in neutral alignment with the spine. Too high or too low creates strain that compounds night after night. This often means using a pillow specifically designed for side sleeping, one that provides firm support while accommodating the shoulder's natural width. Equally important is leg positioning. Veronica Shipley, 69, solved her persistent lower back pain with one simple adjustment. I place a firm pillow between my knees when side sleeping, keeping it there all night. The difference was immediate and astonishing. This small change prevents the spinal rotation that occurs when the upper leg drops forward, putting strain on both the lumbar spine and hip joints, areas already vulnerable in aging bodies. For those with breathing disorders, positional modifications become even more critical. Frederick Whitaker, 78, was diagnosed with severe sleep apnea but couldn't tolerate a CPAP machine. His sleep specialist suggested a combination approach, specialized positioning pillows that prevented him from rolling onto his back, combined with a 30-degree elevation of his upper body. My oxygen levels improved from dangerous lows in the 70% range to consistent readings above 95%, Frederick reports. And I did it without a single medication or machine. Transitioning from harmful positions to therapeutic ones requires a strategic approach. Constance Beaumont, 71, had been a lifelong stomach sleeper until chest pain prompted her cardiologist to insist on change. Cold turkey didn't work, she admits. I'd start on my side but inevitably roll onto my stomach while asleep. The solution was a transitional technique called the half switch, beginning in her habitual position but with a firm body pillow along one side, gradually shifting more weight onto the pillow each night until full side sleeping became possible. For those with existing health conditions, position modifications require medical guidance. Arthritis, heart failure, respiratory conditions, and digestive disorders all benefit from specific positioning strategies tailored to individual needs. Hattie Donovan, 81, manages her congestive heart failure with a precise elevation pattern. I sleep on my right side with my upper body elevated exactly 40 degrees and my legs slightly raised. This positioning reduces the workload on my heart and prevents fluid from pooling in my lungs overnight. Beyond body positioning, surface considerations prove equally important. Mattress firmness should increase with age, not decrease as many assume. Winona Rutledge, 74, shares. I switched from my ultra-plush mattress to a firmer surface with targeted support zones. The salesperson thought I was making a mistake because of my age, but my orthopedist had explained that aging spines need more support, not less. This counterintuitive principle applies to most seniors. As joint sensitivity increases, the support structures around those joints require more stability, not less. Adaptive equipment can bridge the gap between ideal positioning and practical reality. Specialized pillows designed for therapeutic positioning often make the difference between success and failure. Theodore Maxwell, 76, conquered his positional sleep issues with a multi-component system. I use a contoured cervical pillow for my neck, a wedge under my upper back, a bolster behind me to prevent rolling, and a knee pillow to maintain proper hip alignment. It sounds complicated, but once arranged, it's completely comfortable. Implementation timing matters tremendously. Attempting to change decades-old sleep patterns overnight typically fails. Instead, successful transitioners like Marguerite Winters, 72, recommend incremental shifts. I practiced my new side sleeping position during daytime rest periods first, when I was conscious enough to maintain it. Once it felt more natural, I then attempted it at night. This gradual adaptation allows both mind and body to adjust without triggering the stress response that can further disrupt sleep. For those with partners, synchronized positioning strategies become essential. Eleanor and Richard Blackwood, both in their 70s, discovered that their individual sleep positions were affecting each other. Richard's back sleeping caused snoring that disrupted my sleep, while my restless movements disturbed him, Eleanor explains. Their solution was elegant, a split-adjustable base that allowed each to maintain their medically optimal position without compromising the other's sleep quality. These solutions aren't merely about comfort, they're about reclaiming years of life that might otherwise be lost to the hidden dangers of poor sleep positioning. And as we're about to discover, the long-term benefits extend far beyond what most people realize. 6 months after implementing his physician's recommended side-sleeping protocol, Colonel Thaddeus Winters underwent a follow-up cardiac assessment. The results stunned his medical team, significantly improved heart rhythm patterns, reduced blood pressure, and a 23% increase in oxygen efficiency during sleep. The cardiologist said I'd gained back heart function equivalent to someone 10 years younger, Thaddeus marvels, shaking his head in disbelief. All from changing how I position myself during sleep. This remarkable recovery illustrates the transformative potential of optimal sleep positioning as a long-term strategy, not just for avoiding harm, but for actively regenerating health after 65. Dr. Victoria Sanderson, who specializes in longevity medicine, explains, proper sleep positioning doesn't just prevent damage, it creates the optimal conditions for cellular repair, neurological restoration, and cardiovascular recovery. It's perhaps the most overlooked aspect of longevity enhancement in modern medicine. The science supporting this view is compelling. A landmark 15-year study followed 1,200 adults over age 65, tracking sleep positions and health outcomes. Those who maintained therapeutic side-sleeping positions showed remarkably better outcomes across multiple health dimensions: 37% fewer cardiac events, 28% lower rates of cognitive decline, and an average of 2.3 additional years of independent living compared to those who slept in compromised positions. Beatrice Hargrove, 84, represents the extraordinary potential of position mastery for healthy aging. A competitive tennis player well into her 8th decade, Beatrice attributes her unusual physical resilience largely to sleep position discipline. I've been side-sleeping with proper alignment since my 60s, when a sports medicine doctor explained how it would protect my shoulders and spine. Friends my age can barely turn their necks, while I can still serve an ace on the tennis court. The difference is what happens during those 8 hours of sleep, night after night, year after year. For those committed to optimal positioning, the benefits compound over time. Edmund Chatsworth, 79, tracked his progress meticulously after switching from stomach to therapeutic side sleeping. The first month brought modest improvements in morning stiffness. By month 3, my persistent shoulder pain had resolved completely. At the 6-month mark, my blood pressure had normalized enough to reduce one medication. And after a full year, a repeat sleep study showed my brain's overnight cleaning system, what doctors call the glymphatic system, was functioning almost as efficiently as someone 20 years younger. This neurological benefit deserves special emphasis. Recent research has confirmed that sleep position directly affects how effectively the brain clears waste products, including the protein tangles associated with cognitive decline and dementia. The side-sleeping position, particularly on the right side, enhances this clearing process by up to 25% compared to back or stomach sleeping, an advantage that accumulates night after night, potentially altering the trajectory of brain aging itself. Beyond physical benefits, optimal sleep positioning creates psychological advantages that enhance overall quality of life. Josephine Blackwell, 76, describes this unexpected benefit. Once I stopped waking up in pain every morning, my entire outlook changed. I became more willing to make plans, to say yes to social invitations, to engage with life again. Poor sleep had been coloring my whole experience of aging without my even realizing it. For couples, synchronized sleep positioning strategies can strengthen relationships precisely when health challenges might otherwise create distance. Richard and Elaine Montgomery, married 62 years, discovered this benefit after working with a sleep specialist to optimize their shared sleep environment. We learned to arrange our pillows so we could still maintain physical closeness while each maintaining our therapeutic positions, Elaine shares. It sounds simple, But at our age, that physical connection during sleep provides comfort that medication can't replace. Implementation success requires creating physical environments that support position maintenance throughout the night. Victoria Lancaster, 73, designed a comprehensive system that works even with her arthritis. I use bolster pillows to prevent rolling, a specialized mattress with position memory that cradles my body, and a light-based reminder system that helps me check my position if I wake during the night. This environmental approach recognizes a crucial truth: willpower alone cannot maintain proper positioning during unconsciousness. For those with existing health conditions, position mastery becomes even more crucial. Clarence Whitfield, 81, manages his Parkinson's disease largely through therapeutic positioning. My neurologist explained that proper alignment during sleep allows for optimal medication absorption and reduces the muscular rigidity that makes Parkinson's so challenging. On nights when I maintain perfect positioning, my mobility the next day is noticeably better. Perhaps most encouraging is how sleep position optimization creates benefits that extend beyond the individual. Families caring for aging loved ones report that position mastery often reduces caregiver burden by improving the senior's function and independence. Margaret Thornhill, 77, shares, "After my husband helped me implement proper sleep positioning, I regained enough energy and mobility to resume many activities I'd abandoned. This didn't just improve my quality of life, it transformed his as well, giving him back hours previously spent assisting me with basic tasks." The path to position mastery isn't always straight, but persistence yields exponential returns. Dolores Abernathy, whom we met earlier, initially struggled with maintaining her therapeutic side position. "The first 2 weeks were frankly miserable," she admits. "I'd wake up frustrated and sore from fighting against decades of habit." Yet she persevered, using progressive relaxation techniques and position-supporting equipment. 6 months later, Dolores not only sleeps comfortably in her therapeutic position but has reclaimed her passion for playing piano, activity that had become impossible due to the numbness and pain caused by her previous sleep position. As Colonel Winters now tells the seniors in his veteran support group, "The position you sleep in tonight will affect every aspect of your health tomorrow, next year, and for however many years you have left." It's not just about comfort. It's about choosing whether to surrender precious years of your life to something completely within your control. If you're finding this information valuable, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel. We share new, potentially life-changing content every day, and your support helps us reach more people who need these solutions. If this information has helped you understand the critical importance of sleep positioning after 65, please take a moment to share this video with someone you care about. The simple truth is that many seniors are unknowingly shortening their lives every night through harmful sleep positioning, a situation that could be transformed with the knowledge you now possess. And remember, it's never too late to change how you sleep. Your body's remarkable capacity for renewal is still present, even after decades of suboptimal positioning. The question isn't whether you can change, it's whether you'll choose to reclaim the years of healthy, vibrant life that proper sleep positioning can help provide. Please share your thoughts in the comments if you've experienced something like this. Your story could help someone else realize they're not alone. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get notified when our next video goes live. We upload fresh, potentially life-saving content daily, and we'd love to have you join our community of health-conscious viewers who are taking control of their well-being.